Sengun is the second best center in the NBA. Until I see Joel Embiid come back and is fully healthy.
He did not look fully healthy yesterday. There's a compilation going on Twitter right now where he wasn't jumping.
Yeah, it's his body just, again, it's game one. Maybe give time for his body to adjust and take the toll of his weight in the season, just get his feet under him a little bit. And I'll put third because I have to have respect for Karl Anthony Towns. He's been doing it. It's like people are like, he's the second best. I thought about it. I'm like, come on, man. After what I saw Karl do in the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
He's just been doing it for too long just for someone to have a great game one and be like, second, I'm not going to do that to Karl. I'm putting Karl still number 2. Sengun's on the cusp, though. He is coming.
Yeah, and we're not overreacting after one game either because he had a great Eurobasket. He was
No.
He was an all-star last year. We just see the trajectory.
No. Yeah. This isn't off one game.
Yeah.
This is off to exactly what you just said. This is what we see coming. And he had a great summer. He actually outplayed Nikola in some of those games, who was the best player in the planet and the best center. Sengun went at him. Last year was an all-star. Comes into game one, hitting hezzy threes. Bro, the dude's game has improved to the even point where he had a couple shots down the stretch where KD was like, made like that face like, good God, this guy's just talented as shit. They're going to be very good. They have some glaring weaknesses. Shooting is an issue for me. They don't have a lot of shooting. Sengun and KD are like the best shooters on the team. Amen Thompson has to improve his jump shot. I mean, they left him open pretty much every game. A closeout, he would go dribbling back into the traffic because they were sitting there giving him 4 feet of cushion.
Yeah.
If he can just consistently hit a spot shot, it just forces defenders to run at you. And then now, if you get him going downhill, you actually get like a VJ type thing, which we'll get to in a second.
For sure.
But that's what hitting a jump shot can do. Now they're closing out. Now that athletic specimen of what you are is now driving downhill.
Can you tell me why some guys can develop a shot? Like Derrick Rose in the beginning of his career, towards the end, he got became a better shooter. Some guys get better, and some guys never really.
It's a mental thing.
Yeah.
And it's a repetition thing. It's a trust thing. And I can't explain it more than that. Yeah. It's just every player is different. I changed my whole jump shot. A lot of guys can't do it. I don't shoot. I used to shoot with 2 hands. I don't shoot with 2 hands anymore. Most guys can't make that change. I wish I would have done it 6 years ago. I'd probably still be playing. I'm not even kidding. I would 100% still be playing. If I did it too late. By the time I changed, it was my last year in Minnesota. I was up towards, when I played a consistent string of games, I was shooting above 40% from 3. It's the first time in my career doing stuff like that.
Well, the reason it's hard for someone to make a big change like that is because you were the number 1 player in the nation and then a top 10 pick doing what you were doing.
I couldn't
that
change
way.
At that
it's
point
hard.
It felt like what I was doing worked. Not to mention, even when I got consistent playing time early in my career, I was shooting pretty decent. You know what I mean? Especially off the dribble. I just knew I was right. I was like, I don't have to change. Look at Reggie Miller. Look at Larry Bird. Everybody's jump shot's different. That's that's not wrong either. You look at guys like Halliburton and some other guys who have unorthodox jump shots. If it goes in, it goes in. But it gets to a point where, like, if you just nip it early and are able to change your jump shot, you could be even better. You can be better. Lonzo Ball was the same way. All the way up until high school, he could argue the same thing. Through college, to the NBA, I've gotten this far. He changed his jump shot, became a much better jump shooter. Now, obviously, his injuries have derailed his career. If you take all those injuries out, Lonzo's like a top-tier type point guard where you got an athletic two-way player who was shooting around 40 from 3 because he changed his jump shot. That's the type of player. That's why he was getting those $80 million contracts before he got hurt. So I can't explain it more than that. I don't know why.
Well, so when you look at Amen Thompson's form, do you think it's
just flat?
Yeah.
It's not enough legs for me. He's too powerful of an athlete to be short that much. It'd be one thing. If the ball was all over the place, then I would say it's mechanics, something that could be fixed. Well, everything could be fixed, but it'd be mechanics. His jump shot, 4 threes, or 2 or I'd say 3 or 4 threes that he shot in that game, hit the front of the rim, barely grazed the rim. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's a freak athlete. So, with those legs on him, he can shoot it from half. Steph Curry is $175, can shoot from half court. It's repetition. And it's where ball placement, he shoots from low to high. So there's a lot of things. I don't want to get too deep into it to bore people, but when you're that short consistently, it's a legs thing. And it means you're not shooting on your way up and just pushing it out. You're getting up and holding it, and you're shooting on your way down a little bit.
Yeah.
It's just flat. So that's something they're going to have to address. Because, listen, they lost a lot with Fred VanVleet. People just think it's Fred's experience. That's true. Leadership. That's true. His shooting, guys. He's a knockdown. He's actually one of the better three-point shooters in the NBA, to be completely honest.
Right.
So when Kevin has the ball on the wing and is driving left, you can't help when you're the middle defender guarding Fred VanVleet. Because if you go to help, it's an easy kick to a 40% and above three-point shooter. It's a knockdown. Now that's Thompson. Better player, if you're talking about all around, but you can help off him because I don't have to meet him out there. I have to meet him just to my right. He's coming to me. It's different.
Yeah.
It's a closeouts to my right, not step, and then I got to run back out him and try to run him off. It's the hardest thing to do is run a shooter off because then they're going by you. Him, I'm just going right to my right, and I got to meet him. He's going to come back down. So it's
right.
Torreson. He's not a great shooter. These guys, did you see some of the shots they were shooting? These guys can't shoot that well. So it's like that's the only issue with Houston I see right now. They don't have shooting.
So you don't look at that game and think that the Rockets come away feeling really good about the Rockets?
They should because they have to think, okay, listen, we don't have Fred. We just went into the championship. They didn't have Jalen Williams, by the way. The Thunder didn't have their second best player.
Right.
Let's take that into account. But they went there on the road, ring night, and went to double overtime and had multiple chances to win. KD hits a couple free throws. Maybe this shot goes down. That game is won. And they had control of the game the entire game.
Yeah.
What they can hang their hat on is defense. They're with a coach like Ime, they're going to be a top-tier defensive team.
And they're enormous.
And they're humongous.
Yeah.
And they have really good defenders.
No.
That's proven. So that's what you take away from that game is defensively, we're top tier. Offensively, it's game one. We still got to find ourselves here, figure out ways to get better three looks because we don't have the best shooters. How can we get good looks, open looks, so we can knock some more of these down? Ways to give space to Sengun and KD. Mm-hmm. And then you have to wait for the development of Reed Shepherd. Because
do you want to go over the Reed Shepherd experience from that night?
I do. First off, I think he's very talented. I do think he's going to grow into being a solid point guard. His timetable, though, is under pressure. That's the difference, and you can feel it watching him. I think he knows it. He's not playing for the Wizards. He's not playing for the Charlotte Hornets where you can be bad 5 nights in a row and no one cares. So that way you kind of play free, and then eventually by game 12 or 13 of the season, he starts cooking, and everybody's, oh, look, he's playing well. That's not where Houston's at. Houston's trying to win a championship right now. Trying to be off to a good start. Remember, this is a team last year that was one of the top teams in the league record-wise. They want to emulate that again for home court advantage, amongst other things. This is what you think about when you're trying to win a championship. He's playing with Sengun, all-star. He's playing with Kevin Durant, all-star Hall of Famer. He's playing with Amin Thompson, who's going to be, I'm sure, a future all-star. He's coaching. He's being coached by Ime, hard-nosed coach. There's a couple plays where he did it. Ime was looking at him like yelling at him. It's different. And you could feel the pressure. Now,
there were some defensive plays that were, people.
I will give him the benefit of the doubt. On night one, you're going against Cason Wallace, Dort,
Caruso.
These are guys that were guarding him. It's not an easy night to go get your shit off.
Yeah.
But you got to do it. That's what the good players do. I saw Nembhard and Halliburton cut up. The same guys. Yeah. Now, those guys had their moments, but those guys also had their moments. That's why that went to 7 games. Before Halliburton went hurt, that series could have went either way, by the way, because Halliburton was hooping game 7. Mm-hmm. He had 3, you know what I mean? He came out that was the biggest thing of his injury was saddest. That boy came out to play. So one thing I got to give credit to him, the lights are on. That's going.
He's a completely different player.
Completely different player. It's almost like you put him in a bad game. I'm not betting on Halliburton at all. You put it for your life on the line for biggest. That gonna come play. He is a big time. When the lights are on, I perform, which is a very dope attribute to have. Right. Is knowing your star point guard shows up when the pressure is the most. We're in Houston with this team. They got a young point guard. It's his second year. He's a top 3 pick. He did not play last year. That's very rare. That's another reason why he has a lot of pressure on himself. I think he's putting more on himself than we are. Again, no one came out the next day after the Rockets lost and was like, Reed Shepherd's the reason they lost. Now, if you know the game you watched and you're like, Reed Shepherd's got to be a lot better. Yeah. All right? That's what he needs to understand is you're putting more than anybody else. And I promise you, nobody wants you to do better more than yourself. You got to just ease in and just settle in here. So that's the timetable. When do we get that version of Reed? You've seen the clips in practice. You've seen him in Summer League. We've seen him at Kentucky. We know he's a knockdown shooter, highly skilled point guard, very Mark Price-ish. I don't want to compare him to Mark Price. Mark Price is a hooper. So that's yet to be seen. But that's what I see in him.
Like the potential you see in Reed is exactly what this Rockets team would need.
He's
why.
Very Fred VanVleet-ish. He's undersized, great shooter, skilled. He just doesn't have that confidence or experience that Fred has yet.
And Fred's just a different kind of player on the other side of the ball.
Yeah, Fred's a little bit gets after a little bit more.
Yeah.
He's not a great defender, but you can't just punk Fred. And
Right.
Fred's the type of guy got good hands. Like that play over, I think it might have been double overtime. He came off, Shea got a switch on Reed, hit him with an in and out, went to the foul line and just bumped him. Literally just bumped him 3 feet and just shot the jumper. And I remember like seeing another player on his team, I'm not going to call him out, but when he did it, the guy was just like, because it's just like, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be bad on offense and on defense. That's the thing. So this learning curve that we're seeing with Reed, there's a lot of pressure there. But he's got to realize, he's got to figure out ways in his mind to not think about that and like just block out.
Well, instead of him taking some of the blame, I mean, you have a Hall of Famer, a guy in your eyes is a top 10 player of all time, Kevin Durant, who made some mistakes down the stretch, missed a free throw that pretty much would have sealed the game. Called that timeout. Thank God they
could have
didn't
been
give him a technical
costly
on that one. And I think he balled the ball off his foot one time. He
foot.
had a couple of weird things that we're not used to seeing KD do.
No. He had
in crunch time.
multiple mistakes.
So it's like, hey, listen, man, it's first game of the season. You're like you said, you're just a 21-year-old. Basically a rookie in our eyes.
He is a rookie. He didn't play last year, guys.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have proper experience. And he wasn't a part of that team that went to the playoffs or the play-in or whatever they were in that had that run. So he doesn't have that. And he's on a team that is trying to win right now. They're like, we're winning. We can win. That's a lot. And then before the season, he's locked into being a backup. I got to back up Fred. That's his pressure. I got to back up Fred VanVleet. He's just, really solid point guard, good shooter. When I come in, there can't be a change. It's got to be same offense. He tears his ACL. It's a big change to go from being a backup starting point guard to you're going to start. Or even if you don't start, you're going to play a lot.
Yeah.
Now, if you're Reed, obviously you don't want anybody to get hurt, but you got to be happy. You got an opportunity here. It also comes with a lot of pressure. My only worry, I'm not worried about his shot. Like the 3-point. He shot like shit. He shot bad shots, though. He kept shooting tough shots. I'm not worried about the 3 because he could shoot the shit out the ball. All it takes is for them to play they're going to play one of these bad teams in the next week or so, and he's going to have like 4 or 5 open threes. He's going to knock them down, and his confidence is going to start to it's going to start spinning. Yeah. It's going to start moving. The machine's going to start to come on. Then he's going to be like, okay, I can do this. That's where it starts sometimes. It's tough just night one playing against the Thunder.
Of course.
He couldn't. He was in a box. Let's play the Rockets 2 months from now. If Shepard's got a couple good games under his belt, now he walks in there like, I owe y'all. Whole different mindset.
Well, a great example would be the Knicks playing the Celtics last year, first game, ring night, and Mikal Bridges had that new jump shot. The Celtics beat the hell out of them, right? They made like 63s. And, what happens, at the end in the playoffs, Mikal Bridges has big plays against the Celtics. They beat the Celtics. I know Tatum got hurt, but they were going to win that series anyways.
They were.
So you can see just the course of a season how things could change.
What could do?
Yeah.
Now, Mikal has been in the finals, has plenty of experience. So this is where Reed's going to have to take his good games and really help it snowball into something. Just like these bad games can help you do that, unfortunately, you got to take the good with it too. He's going to have to figure that out. My issue with him is defensively. They're going to have to hide him. All right?
They have the team to do it.
And they had the team to do it. So that's good. Offensively, he over dribbles. And he's like out there trying to figure out. A lot of this is, again, it's his first game. It looked like I was watching a rookie. There was multiple times he would dribble, just pick his dribble up and was like trying to. I was like, what are you doing? And then he kept just driving left or right, was not going towards the basket. He was like going sideways because he couldn't get around these dudes. And then instead of driving or just moving the ball, he kept trying to he was shooting something, shot a turnaround fadeaway at one point. I was just like,
well, do you think that's part of people being like, let Reed be Reed? Like, hey man, play your game. So he's 1 minute he's thinking I gotta,
Bro, he looked off KD 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
And this is in the overtime, and he shot a bad shot. And I'm just like, See, that's not how you're going to get your rhythm going, bro. Because, for one, you're not that good yet. Not saying he isn't. Just that's not where you're at right now. Confidence-wise, you're feeling the floor. You don't have it yet. He's got to get, like, just good games where he's just solid. And then let that, like, grow into something. Like, I always tell players, like, just start out. They gave you a little rope. Just start out with that. Let's just start pulling on that slowly, the rope. And then just watch the rope get bigger. And now you can start to be a little bit more experimental out there on the court. You can start to be a little bit more.
So is that what happened with you? Because when you came in, did you end up just going into your bag?
Dad, when I played for the Clippers, bro, I didn't just like go out there and try to score 30 with Chris Paul and Blake. I was just being solid. I actually hung my head on defense. I had one task. Now, the difference between me and Reed Shepherd is Chris Paul didn't tear his Achilles right before the season. And my dad's like, you're a starting point guard playing with Blake and Chris. We're trying to win a championship, by the way. I would have been like, because I didn't have that experience. Right. Now, if you would have asked me 60 more games into it, I'd be like, man, this is what I've been waiting on. But it's a lot to ask from a young man who hasn't played, was a top pick, already feels probably a little bit of embarrassment last year. No other top 5 pick wasn't playing. So he's sitting there just like, you know what I mean? That's a lot to go through. Yeah. They had to play the Summer League again. You think anybody else in the top 5 was at the Summer League playing? No. Like, these are things as a player you think.
Right.
Like, you get in your head and you're like, man, I'm the only one in the top 5 that's here. I'm the only one that...
I saw a tweet that said, well, that pick could have been Steph Castle.
That's what happens. Then
I was like, man, it's game one. And
you don't think he sees those things?
Yeah.
Because as players, we see it all, just like you do. We're on our phones.
Yeah.
We see it. You don't think he sees that Stephen Castle was picked behind him one Rookie of the Year and all these other guys? Yes. And now he's playing night one. He looked awful versus the Thunder. It was bad. So I think a lot of that was... give Thunder credit. Might not have been Reed's night. I think most of that bad performance was all just pressure he's putting on himself a little bit, and it being just game one. Just he has to find his rhythm. He's got to get used to playing with guys like KD. He's got to get used to being relied on at this level. You know what I'm saying? Like it's going to take some time. So, again, the best thing about the NBA is he got 81 more games. So he didn't look good last night or the night before, opening night. They got 81 more for him to fine-tune himself, and I have no doubt he will. So, and the good news is the Houston can hang their hat on 10 other things that they looked good about. So that's my overall assessment of Shepherd. I think he's fine. He'll be a very talented player. He's just got to find himself.
Yeah, and I love the role for KD on this team where he can really just – they have Sengun, who looks like he's going to be the star. Thompson every night's going to do something that's going to wow you. I think KD gets to go just kind of get buckets, right? Like, this is a really good role for him. This is a really good team. We knew it was going to be, but seeing it, especially in the first half, in the second half, he wasn't as involved as much, but in the first half, seeing it, I was like, okay, this is a perfect role for KD for where he's at in his career.
They have a big 3. Now, the third guy in that group is still developing, which is Amen Thompson. He's still...
But I think every night you're going to see him do something different.
Yeah, he's going to get more confident too. Like, I'm sure he looked at that night like, man, I got to get a little bit more into my jump shot. I got to get my, you know what I mean? Like, these are things that just you have to assess as a player. But starting with Kevin Durant and Sengun, you're talking about a top 3 center and a top 3 power forward. And then you go from there. Then you got good size and length and talent around you. Jabari Smith made some very big plays and threes. You have him. Torrey Eason was a little out of control offensively. He was a little bit out of sorts, but he's a good defender.
He also just didn't sign his extension the day before, I believe. So I don't know if he
sign it.
Yeah, no. So
yeah, that probably was a lot going on in his head.
I can imagine. Every time I talk to a player, going through a contract issue, it's always
it's way different from getting it done and signing and feeling from them being like, bro, what's going on here?
Yeah,
I can imagine. So, but he'll be much better. So they got a good team.